Okay. It's 9:30. I'm going to call this meeting of the Oklahoma County Board of Equalization to order. Special meeting agenda. It's Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024. I am Brett Town, acting chairman today. Roll call, Eleanor Thompson.
Present.
Teresa Sellers.
Present.
And Brett Town present. The meeting was properly posted on March 27th, according to the Oklahoma statutes. We're hearing 15 hearings today. And Mr. Hayes?
I'll call.
Okay.
I should know the number.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Hayes. This is Brett Town. I'll be acting as the chairman today. We have 15 cases. All of them are yours. Are you prepared?
Not really, but I'll be there.
Okay. Okay.
I wasn't given the right information, but I'm okay.
I understand. Well, we'll take it. We'll take it slow and easy on you then.
Yeah, I'll manage. I do a pretty good job for the most part.
Okay. No problem. We have agenda item number 1. It's BOE 078 R2011311270. The property located at 3508 Northeast 141st Street in Edmond. The taxpayer value at this time, as posted, was $372,500. The assessor's valuation was $423,000. Mr. Hayes, as you know the routine, we're going to let you go first, and followed by the assessor, and then you have the last say in the conversation. So we're ready.
So is there any way where I can let the appraiser go first so I can prepare this? Is that possible? I think I can ask that. They did once. Can we have the appraiser go first on all of these so I can follow? Is that possible?
Did you say there was a
Well, at least, are you just asking just to get caught up on your paperwork and get prepared for this morning?
Well, yeah. Well, in this case, not trying to throw anybody in the bus. The email she sent me yesterday was because I've been going off days and we've been having so much information that's been disseminated in so many different ways. When she sent me the email yesterday, this morning when I looked at the email, it was multiple. It was like 30 or 40. So I called her this morning. I tried to filter through and just do them all, but I wasn't able to finish them. So I just called her recently and said, hey, can you just send me the ones? And now I'm just kind of going through them. I've done most of them, but I have a bunch of sheets I got to filter through, so it's much easier for me to just let him go while I filter through my sheets.
Board?
So just
That's okay.
Let's have him at least tell us what he's asking first.
I'm not understanding what you're...
Have him.
Oh, yes. Yes, okay. Mr. Hayes, we are going to ask you to give us your stated amount. You know, it's typically been different than what was sent in. So if you will give us that first, then we will let the assessor go on.
Okay, so if you don't mind, can you just go off the stated value and I'll change it, which I probably will. I'll do so when I speak, if that's okay.
Well, at least admit that it's $372,500.
Okay, well, so we're going to say at this point you're at $372,500, correct? And we'll go from there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll hear from the assessor's office then.
All right, Cole McCarthy for the Oklahoma County Assessor's Office. The property that we are discussing for BOE number 078, the address is 3508 Northeast 141st Street. The major intersections are East Memorial and North Bryant. It is a 2,620 square foot property, which with a assessed value of $423,000, which gives us $161.45 per square foot. The subject's age is 23 years. The average age of the comps we used was 28.3 years. Our 3-comp report supports a mean of $438,991, a median of $420,000, $303,395. And because it's only a 3-comp report, we can go down real quick. The minimum in that area, that minimum number in our range is $395,600. Our maximum is $497,976. This was valued at in 2024 this year, $423,000. In 2023, it was $401,500, and in 2022, it was $310,030. It was purchased in 2022 with a qualified $400,000 sale. That's all I have to
And
say.
you have the 2023 valuation last year at $401,500.
That is correct.
Okay.
How much did you say that 2022 sale was?
$310,030.
No, the
Sale. Oh, so I apologize. 400,000.
And what's the qualified sale?
That's the $400,000 2022 qualified sale. That just means arm's length
Oh,
transaction.
good.
Willing buyer, willing seller, open market, etc.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Hayes?
So on this one,
Yes.
please don't be upset with me on this. On this one, I would agree. I just wanted to get that approval.
Okay.
So I kind of had to let that person play off. So please don't be upset with me. I agree on the value.
It's a good warm-up for us. Okay, so we have an agreement on item number 1, BOE 078, setting the value of fair market value of this property at $423,000. So do I have a motion?
Sure. I move that we set the fair market value of BOE number 78 at $423,000.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, we'll close that agenda item, move on to item number 2, which is BOE 079 R208061230, property located at 3321 Northwest 177th Court in Edmond. The assessor's valuation is $375,000. The current stated taxpayer valuation is $366,450. Is that, you still want us to use that valuation at this point, Mr. Hayes, as a starting point?
No, I'm at 365.
365, okay. All right, we'll let the assessor begin this one as well.
Absolutely. The subject's address is 3321 Northwest 177th Court. Your major intersections there are West Edmond and North Portland. That is a 2,557 square foot property, which gives you a dollars per square foot of $146.66. The age of the subject is 15 years. Our average comp age is 9.17 years. And that's just because the last 2 that we used are fairly new. We did a 6-comp report for this one. The median is $375,016. The mean is $372,267. The minimum sale price was $353,986, and the maximum was $396,117. Now, in 2024, the current valuation is $375,000. In 2023, the valuation was $358,500, and in 2022, it was $291,000. It was another arm's length qualified sale purchase in 2022 for $377,000. And then, just because I didn't really want to have to be stuck with those 2 new sales on our comp report, I went ahead and reran it with slightly older mains, properties that are closer to the same age, and that gave me a median of $375,288 and $370,202 for our median. So still, even taking those 2 out and switching them for older ones still gives us a very similar median and mean. So we can definitely support a $375,000 value.
Which comps were the ones that were the new ones on the original?
On the original ones, if you
Tell me comp 1, 2, 3.
5 and 6, and you see the effective age on those are 0. They are brand new houses.
And the
And
square
how old
footage
is
on
this
those
house?
were quite a bit smaller on those.
Yeah, and how old is this house?
15 years. It's
And
15
you said
years.
The other ones are brand new?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he reran it without. So the square footage seems to be a lot smaller though on these than the subject houses. Are they all in the same neighborhood?
I do believe so. If we scroll down, we'll see our neighborhood code is all the same, which is good. If you go down to the map real quick, we find,
49, 44.
and they're all basically within the same street.
It's odd. 2,500 versus 15, 16.
Which neighborhood is this?
Brian Posters. It's Brian Posters. North
North Rose Lake Villas.
So it's in the Rose Creek development.
So
Okay.
it's probably condos or garden homes or something. Okay.
Okay. Mr. Hayes, do you have any more questions of the assessor?
No.
Okay, go ahead and present them.
So the way I came up, I see they're providing 6 comps on a lot of these, but I think they're, well, I'm not gonna say they're overdoing it because I'd rather for comps. So what I did, what most cats will do, I looked at all 6. I took the highest value adjusted, and, you know, we call it the sales adjusted value. I took the highest one out, the lowest one out. And I did an average of the 4, and it gave me 365. I think that makes sense. Since we're dealing with variables, we're dealing with multiple properties. I didn't really, like I said, I'm not a really median type guy because we're using multiple properties. So it's not really fair to use one property value unless it's a hard value and it's close. So I took the 4 and I averaged when I got to 365 now.
Okay.
But so you don't have any, I understand what you just said, but you don't have any.
Number 2, number 3, number 5, 6 from your count. And that's how I got my back.
Do you not have a problem, Mr. Hayes, that you bought a property for $377? I forget which month in 22 that was, but
June.
okay, so 18 months later, you don't have any problem asking for a valuation of $12,000 less than your purchase price?
Ma'am, the market is the market. Unfortunately, people purchase values higher, properties for higher than they should.
Okay.
Happens all the time. It's like a distressed property goes up and down. The market. That's how the market is created.
Okay.
My clients purchase properties higher than they should a lot, and we have to go back and price test. And unfortunately, they're helping to set the value, so I still ask. But if it's anywhere near there, that's close, I still ask. Now, if it was purchased for like 400, I'm like, oh, can't do that. But if it's close, yes, ma'am, I do ask for the concept of retention because they're going with the market. Unfortunately, they happen to set the market, but that's what we're trying to do now. We're trying to correct the market. That's why we're doing it here.
Assessor, you started off, so you have the last word.
Absolutely. Thank you. I would just like to say that by taking out the highest and the lowest and finding the mean of that, we are essentially establishing the median anyway. Taking out the 2 highest and 2 lowest and finding the average of those 2 is the median. So we are already working towards it just without cherry picking our numbers. That is all.
Okay. All right. I will close agenda item number 2, BOE 79. We'll move on to agenda item number 3.
Hold on, can I ask a question about when you say cherry picking? How is that cherry picking? That's just taking the highest and the lowest. That's not cherry picking. That's not the definition of cherry picking.
Okay. Well, we've already closed it. We're going to move on. When they have the last word, we're going to leave it as that. Whenever you want to start presenting first again, just tell me and we'll start you back. All right. Agenda item number 3, BOE 080R209861-270, property located at 1705 Northwest 193rd Circle in Edmond. Current taxpayer value is asking $416,400. Assessor valuation at $455,500. Mr. Assessor, would you care to start?
Certainly.
I will go first on this one.
Okay.
I'll let-
We're gonna start you first then.
Okay, so on this particular property, 1705 Northwest 193rd Circle, correct?
Correct.
Provided 4, 5, and 6 are not. Number 5 is questionable, but if you look at the value, you can kind of tell that something's going on with that one. It purchased price of $595,000. The other was $650, 3624. That's 800 square foot larger. So that's not a count. Ladies and gentlemen, has 3 of active age. Number 5 is 2 years active age. So those 2 are not counted.
Which
Number
could you say which comp specifically? I know you said comp 5, but what was the other one?
Number 4, 5, and 6, I didn't use. Number 4 is 508 square foot larger. Number 5, although only about 50 to 60 square foot, it is 2 years old. Okay, so that's like a brand new property. And you can adjust for it, but look at the value compared to our listed price of $455, $140,000 higher. So is that a true comp? No, man. Sorry, no sir. So, and number 6 is 800 square foot, 770 square foot to be exact, larger than the southern property. So that's definitely not a comp. That's a whole nother small house. So if you go back to the 1, 2, and 3, and you use the sales adjusted value, you get an average of about $450, $500.
How much?
$450, $500.
So are you revising your
Yes.
price
Yes,
of $5,500?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I did have a question, but the assessor, sometimes you run these separate, did you run comps 1, 2, and 3 separately as a 3 comp?
I did not. However, I did do a separate calculation, ruling out comps 5 and 6.
Okay. All right. We'll hear from the assessor's office then.
Fantastic. The address of this property is 1705 Northwest 193rd Circle. Your major intersections are North Penn and Northwest 192nd. We currently have it valued at $455,500, and it is a 2,854 square foot property, which gives us a dollars per square foot of $159.60. This property is 13 years old. The average age of our comps are 9.5. We've addressed that those last 2 are going to skew that in some sort of direction. On that 6 comp report, we did find a median of $470,537, a mean of $471,062, a minimum sale price of $444,281, and a maximum sale price of $496,600. Running the 4 comps and disregarding 5 and 6 gives us a mean of $461,404 and a median of $453,979. So just shy of $454,000. This was also acquired in a qualified arm's length transaction sale in 2022 for $443,000.
Can you give me the comp 1 through 4 value again?
Certainly. Both the mean and the median? The mean is $461,404, and the median is $453,979.
Okay.
And that 2022 sale was 443. Do you have the 2023 value?
The 2023 value is $439,000.
else?
I do believe that's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Hayes, you have the last word.
You just used one than me, so.
Okay.
I mean, they're only about $3,000.
I didn't think number four should be used, but, I mean, number 4 square foot is over 500, so economy of scale can be used in this concept, I thought, so I used it.
Can we ask the assessor if he wants to come down to the 450, 500? Since it's so close.
I would not. I firmly believe that if this property was to sell today, they would sell it for the higher of the two values.
Okay.
So, can I ask a question?
Certainly, you're still on.
When it comes time to pay your tax, and you are based off your peers, would you like your property individually to be compared to a property that's over 500 square foot large?
Are you asking me or the assessor?
No, that's a hypothetical question.
Okay, so it's rhetorical, non-rhetorical.
Yeah, it's something to think about when you're doing comparable. We have to stay in a parameter, and location is first, then the quality is second, and the square footage is a huge part. So in this case, it's not a comp by square footage.
So the reason you took 5 and 6 off was because the age?
The age and the square footage were both
That's what-
significantly different.
I see that it was on 6, but 5 wasn't that bad. 5 I'm showing was 2939 in square footage.
Was
Yeah,
it?
but
But 4
Well,
was
that would
3362. He's correct. 4 is a little bit more square footage. I know you make the adjustments for that, but
Yes, ma'am.
When you already have
Mostly it was-
3, that's what I'm saying. You already have 3. You're stretching it to go to 4. So you have 3 that are good, you got nothing wrong with it. I think you only had 1 or 2. But you got 3 already, so you're stretching the 4th one. And Ms. Thompson said, I'm deliberately saying that the appraiser is raising the value, but please note, Carol, that most of these hearings have only had 3. So when you have 6, when you add another one, it's supposed to be a good one for both parties to use, not just to raise the value. That standard appraisal practice. That 4th one you use is supposed to be a consensus for both parties to say, okay, it's a cost. I'm telling you, if I had been over 500 square feet, it should be thrown out. That, to me, I'm sorry, but that's common sense. From an economy of scale practice, that is not a good company.
The board can take that under advisement. I did have a question. Would the assessor's office consider the median of the 4 comp of that 453,979?
Certainly, that's supported by the 4 comps.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, we're going to move on. We're going to close BOE 080. Move on to agenda item number 4, BOE 081. R number 212291190. 648 Cristo Pass in Edmond. Current taxpayer value set asking $387,800. Assessor valuation set at $415,000. Mr. Hayes, you ready to start on this one?
I would like him to go first.
Okay. At some point, we're going to stop going back and forth.
So he can go first from here on.
Okay, that's what I'd like to do then.
This is one that I would then like to table until a further. I would like to see what he has to say before we present this one. If we can.
Okay. So what you're asking is to table this completely and move on, or?
Yes, please.
Okay. I don't know if I've ever had that.
You can come back.
I
We
apologize.
can come back to it during this
Yes.
session, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to table this to the end, Mr. Hayes, and we'll take.
Explain the table concept. I've never heard that.
Well, we're going to not address this one at this point of the meeting. We're going to table it to the end, and this will be the last item that we do on the agenda today.
But what he is asking is that you go first on this one. So if you can try to find a way to review this one.
Okay. Table, so that's what table, I'm trying to get the verbiage right.
Yeah, we're going to, it's just a
Unless it goes
rules of
first.
order. We're going to table this one till the end of the meeting, and then we're going to, this will essentially item 4 will become item 16 at the end.
I
So
mean, 15 at the end.
15 at the end, yes, you're correct. Okay, so we're going to table this one, and then we'll move on to item number 5 of the agenda, BOE 082, R number 213251240, 19524 Taggett Drive in Edmond. Taxpayer value is asking $351,150. Assessor valuation $380,000. You're first the rest of the way.
Yes, sir. All right, as discussed, this is 19524 Taggart Drive. That is, your major intersections are North May Avenue and Northwest 192nd Street. This is valued at $380,000 for 2024, and it is a 2,408 square foot piece of property. That gives us a dollars per square foot of $157.81. This property is 7 years old. The average age of our comps is 3.17 years old. The median that we have calculated, is 392,274. The mean is 389,610. We have a minimum sale price of $366,000.86 and a maximum sale price of $404,847. Wow, I said that very incorrectly. That means $404,847. Apologies. In 2024, again, valued at $380,000. In 2023, valued at $368,000. In 2022, valued at $319,000. And it was acquired in a qualified 2022 sale for $378,000. All the comps they provided for this one were well outside of the distance that we could use them. And then if we go and look at our comp report, go ahead and scroll up to 5 and 6 for me, if you would. You see those are very large square foot adjustments, and I know that we're heavily discussing whether those make our comps qualified or not. So going ahead and disqualifying those two actually changes our median to 403,706 and our mean to 394,586.
I'm sorry, can you, just a minute, I wanted to look at the square footage on those two that you said were a pretty large difference.
1870.
5 to 6.
It's a 15.8.
6?
Just
Oh,
smaller.
they were out of order, that's why, okay.
Right, gotcha.
I had them mixed up, so that's the two that were 1870.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it's, for me, it's comp 2 and 3. I numbered it wrong, and so what were the new numbers?
That actually raises our median to 403,706, and the mean also raises to 394,586.
Do you have a new number now, or you just?
The number that we are currently valued at for the 380,000 is what we'd like to say.
Okay. All right, Mr. Hayes?
Okay, so this particular property is kind of case in point of what I was saying last, and I'm glad you mentioned that because we just went over that from the last slide. What I'd like to say, using the 4 that I would have used, if I were just trying to get us the value, would have brought my value to 275. But like I said, practicing the concept of fair appraisal practices, you throw the last 2 out. Because I could use those 2 with, I think, 1 and 4, and they were closer to size, of course, and the other 2 are brand new. So I wouldn't use those even though the property is 7 years old, but the value is high, as you can see through the sale price. So I agree with the value, but I'm telling you why I wouldn't go for a lower value of 375, which if you use the 3 or 4 values that could lower it to 375, it's not good appraisal practice. I just wanted to point that out, that I'm following the trend. Keep the value fair. So yes, I agree with that.
So you agree with the
The
380,000?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have agreement. Do I have a motion?
I move that the BOE sets the fair market value of BOE number 82 at 380,000 by agreement of the parties.
Okay,
I'll
second.
second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. We will move on to BOE, or agenda item number 6, BOE 083, R number 1134188080. This is the property located at 2736 Southwest Murray Drive in Oklahoma City. Taxpayer valuation as sent in was $53,650. Assessor's valuation is $84,500.
We want to ask him first if he's still at 53,650 before we do the assessment.
Mr. Hayes, are you still at?
I agree with this value also.
Okay.
Because the trail is
We have agreement by the two parties. Is there a motion?
I move that we set the fair market value of BOE number 83 by agreement of the parties at $84,500.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, we will move on to agenda item number 7, BOE 084, R number 148461655. Property located at 1304 Southwest 81st Place in Oklahoma City. Current taxpayer valuation at $70,450. Assessor's valuation at $123,500. Mr. Hayes, we're going to let the assessor go first, but do you have a current value that you want to state to start us off? Is it different than the $70,400?
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm good, sir. I'm going to take that value.
Okay. We'll hear from the assessor's office then.
All right. So the property in question is 1304 Southwest 81st Place. The major intersections are South Penn Avenue and Southwest 89th. It is a 988 square foot property, which gives us exactly $125 per square foot. It is 60 years old, and the comps we pulled have an average age of 57. In 2024, it is currently valued at $123,500. In 2023, it was valued at $107,500. In 2022, it was valued at $96,500. This property was acquired in 2018 during a sheriff sale, so we cannot use the value that to help set our value. All of the comps that they provided are very far away. You can see in their evidence they were.
Go ahead.
The evidence they provided, they were also having a hard time finding good comps. Admittedly, this was a difficult one to find comps for. We were only able to find one compatible 2023 sale. We found 3 2022 sales, 6 2021 sales, and we went with the best 3 that we had to help justify our valuation. They're close to the subject. Their number 3 admittedly does have a larger square footage adjustment made to it, specifically, again, because it was so hard to find good comps in this neighborhood. But if you scroll down, I actually didn't write down the comp report we found gives us a median adjusted sale price of $131,078. It gives us a mean of $132,926. The minimum sale is $130,715, and the maximum was $136,984.
But your adjusted value is 123.5.
Yes, ma'am.
And so what did you base that off of?
That is the valuation that was provided just by our sales team at the beginning of the year as of January.
Okay, Mr. Hayes. Let's keep.
Can I add what was last year's value?
Well, let's let the assessor finish and then you can ask him questions.
But yes, that is the value that our sales team provided that we arrived at on December 31st of 2023.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Mr. Hayes, you have any questions of the assessor's office?
Yes. What was last year's value?
107,500.
And the new value is what?
123,500.
And the sale of the value, I just want to get this straight, and the one sale value was how much?
Okay. The one sale value.
The 2023 sale value?
We had one 2023 sale value. I'll let the assessor talk. Go ahead.
Okay, certainly. We had the one sale in September of 2023. It was 0.14 miles away for $165,000, time adjusted to $167,840. Maybe scroll down, let's just see what that looks like with all the
Yeah,
adjustments.
let's look at that. 'Cause
Which
I
I
have
want to make sure I'm hearing it right. The one sale was 165.
130. Oh, time adjusted.
Which, with all of the adjustments made for square footage, differences in properties, gives us $130,715.
So,
Which is also a square footage, price per square foot of $132.30 as opposed to his $125.
and I want to make sure, what's the square footage of the subject property and what's the square footage of the property that was sold? I want to make sure, because I'm trying to figure out how you got those numbers.
The square footage of the property of the subject is 988 square feet, and sale one, comp one, is 962 square feet.
So basically what you're saying, that with the time adjustment and a larger property, that the one sale, 165, correct, goes down to 130?
Is it really 165?
It's not 160.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing
I
a
don't think that's
165.
It's the 165 sale
Oh,
price.
so the sale price was 165 and you adjusted it down to
Okay.
130.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you hear that, Mr. Hayes? That was the 165 was the sale price. And I guess that was provided by your sales team? Because it was a sheriff's sale.
Yes, sir. In 2018, though, so even beyond what we would look at for establishing
So
today's
we're not-
value.
The sheriff's sale was on this subject property though.
Yes,
correct?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And what's the taxable value?
No,
I'm trying to put all these numbers together.
We're not concerned about taxable value. We're concerned.
What's the market value? Sorry?
The assessor is asking the 2024 assessed value at $123,500. Last year's
So I'm
value.
trying to figure out why. That's why I asked all. I'm trying to figure out how you got it back from a property that's smaller, that's sold for an astronomical amount, 40,000 higher than 165, and you adjust it down, but it's actually larger, slightly, but a little bit larger.
yeah, I'm trying, why are you making a big deal over 20 square feet? I mean, usually we're talking 5. Hold up, let me finish my question. Usually,
And I'm making a big deal over one property being used to raise the value. Okay, that's what I'm making a big deal of. The 20 square feet doesn't matter. It's 26. It doesn't really matter. The problem I have is now they're using one property when you normally have 3 and 6 comps, but you're using one property.
he's not
to raise
using,
the value.
well, hold, Mr. Hayes, listen, I'm kind of in a strange mood today. When the assessor gave his presentation, I wrote down everything he said. You have re-asked him everything he said. He gave the value of 107,500 for last year and 96,500 for the year before. The square footage, his median was 131, his mean was 132. And you're now saying he arrived at his prices for his valuation using only one property. He has more than one property.
He has 3 properties. One is the one he considers the closest in square footage. They're all within, one is 0.14 miles, that's comp 1. Comp 2 is 0.06, it's next door or across the street. There's another 1.17. And they are adjusted market values of 130,715, 136,984, 131,078. I think you have to throw out the cost that the sales team placed on this property in 2018. I mean, that's
Yeah, I mean,
that's an outlier on any calculation I'm going to make.
yeah, I'm a little bit confused because the assessor appears to be being generous based off of the comps, the median and the mean on the comps. He appears to be being generous if you base it off of that. So I'm trying to understand, Mr. Hayes, what your argument is for the 70,450 valuation that you're asking for.
I didn't ask for the 70,000. From what I heard, it was only one sale in 23.
So what are you asking for? What value are you asking for?
I would like that one. From what he was telling, from what it sounded like, maybe I heard it wrong. That's why I was asking. He said it was focused basing on that one sale. So maybe I'm wrong. But if you only have one sale in 1 year doesn't control the market.
It was based off of 3 sales, but he admitted that 2 of the 3 were 2022 because they could not find any closer comps, correct?
Correct.
That was what I understood him to say.
And his comment on your comps were that they were 0.5 miles to 1.8 miles away in that range. So I think we're talking different neighborhoods and different distances and such. So I think his comps are within two blocks, even though one of them might be a 2-year-old sale.
Yeah, so that's my point. Now we're making the point I'm trying. We're basing it off January 1st, 23, but you want to go back with justification to raise the value. I've said this time and time again. That is not the definition of fair appraisal practices. Because we're going off the comp that was sold from January 1, 23 to December 31st.
No, Mr. Hayes, let's get this straight because we're going to be living with you for a while now. The assessor is not limited to 1 year's sales. He is not.
Ms. Thomas, you can say that till you're blue in the face, but in order to raise the value, if you go back, you can raise the value every year. That's my point. Ms. Thomas, you say you're not in a good mood, Ms. Thomas, but I'm sorry.
No, I'm not. No. I said you're in a strange mood today.
No, you said you were in a strange mood. You
Can I
said
just-
you were in a strange mood.
Okay, let's
Mr. Hayes,
stick to the.
let's stick to it. It's Miss Thompson, just so you know, not Thomas.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will say this till I'm blue in the face, and I will be there to see you guys next year, face to face. You should not be reaching 2 and 3 years to raise a value. That is not the definition of fair appraisal practices for any type of valuation.
Okay, so Mr. Hayes, what is your argument on this particular case, BOE 84? What's your argument for the 70,450 valuation? We're trying to, that's really what we need to know. We've heard the assessor's argument for how he got to his number. We need to know how you're getting to your number.
I'm at 120% by adding 0.12 to last year's value. Simple reason we don't have anything to really give it value because the other 2 comps are sold in 2022.
So,
we have to be fair to the taxpayers.
So what number are you at then?
120.
120,000, and I'm sorry, how did you say you got to that? You just added a percent?
0.12 times the last year's value.
So you added 12% to last year's value, the 107,000.
Yes.
Great, thank you so much.
Okay, we're going to close BOE number 84 and move on to agenda item number 8, which would be BOE number 085, R number 122401930, property located at 8629 Northeast 20th Street, Oklahoma City. Assessor taxpayer value initially set at $155,210. Assessor valuation at $186,500. Assessor.
Certainly. Again, the property 8629 Northeast 20th Street is on the major intersections of North Spencer and Northeast 23rd.
Can I pause just a second?
Certainly.
Mr. Hayes, do you have a number that's different than 155,210 that you want to propose before I let the assessor go?
So I agree with this, right?
You agree with his value? Okay. All right, we have agreement between parties on BOE number 085. Is there a motion to accept?
I move that we set the fair market value of BOE number 85 at, by agreement of the parties, $186,500.
Second.
I'll make a second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion passes. We'll close that and go to agenda item number 9, BOE 128, which would be R number 140051580.
Did we do 86?
Did I have this
We did
wrong?
85, but I don't see 86.
We didn't do
So
86.
86 is next on the agenda.
86, okay, I'm sorry. I had mismarked, pardon me. We will move to
Item 9.
item 9, which is BOE number 86, R number 120891680.
That's 128.
Oh,
Okay, I'm sorry, I'll just read it from the agenda then rather than my notes. Okay, item number 9, BOE 086, R number 140051580. Property located at 1921 North Ann Arbor Avenue in Oklahoma City. Okay.
I can help you with this in case
Let's
you
have,
members.
let's have the, we make sure I have a taxpayer value at $221,720.
277,000. So the assessor's value, requested value is 277,500. The taxpayer is requesting $249,189.
Okay, I apologize. I've got these mixed up. Mr. Hayes, do you have another value beyond what was originally stated?
No, sir, not right now. Go ahead,
Okay.
please.
All right. We will let the assessor begin.
Thank you. The address of the subject property is 1921 North Ann Arbor Avenue. Your major intersections are going to be North Ann Arbor Avenue and Northwest 19th. This is a 2,358 square foot house valued at $277,500, which gives you an assessed value per square foot of $117.68. The age of our subject is 40, and our average comp age is 37.3. This had a remodel in 2021, and none of their comps take that remodel into account. If you look at the comps they provided, they are saying that 1921 North Ann Arbor Avenue's age is 53 because of that. I skipped ahead a little. This was purchased in February of 2023 as a multi-parcel transaction. So we cannot use any sale data for that to help establish value. In 2024, again, currently valued at $277,500. 2023, it was valued at $215,000. In 2022, it was valued at $215,000 as well. It didn't go up in value between those 2 years. We have a 3-comp report prepared that demonstrates a median of $267,959, a mean of $272,882. Wow, I'm saying that terribly.
that was fine.
Okay. A minimum sale of $249,654 and a maximum of $301,032. In this case, again, very difficult to find good comps because of that remodel. So we took the best 3 we could to try to demonstrate a range of sales that are acceptable for it to fall within. And in this case, that's the minimum and maximum numbers I provided. That 277,000 falls well and safely within the 301,000 and 250,000 of our minimum and maximum sales.
Could you tell me the ages again, please?
Certainly.
If I get all that.
Absolutely. If I need to slow down at any point, just let me know. Our effective age on this property is 40 years old, and the average age of the 3 comps we use is 37.3.
And the 40 years old was with the 2021 remodel.
Correct, yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay.
Any other questions of the assessor? Okay, Mr. Hayes?
Okay, Ms. Thompson, before we start, I want to seem argumentative because I can tell that we're not in good standards this morning, but I want to bring something up. Not one of these properties are true comps. You have a 1637, a 1718, and a 1690. My client's property is well over 2,300 square feet. It is twice the size. Come on. But we're reaching here. Let's be honest. So I'm going to make this real quick because I'm not really feeling how things are going today, and I'm not trying to be an issue. I'm just stating some of the facts. So I love how the appraiser mentioned that there was a remodel. Unfortunately, we don't have the value of the actual sale. So taking that in point, and none of these are comps. I did my standard 12. It's over 200,000. It's over 2,000 square feet. I did my standard 12. I normally do 6 for every 100,000 when there's no comparison. None of these are comparison. I hope you all agree.
You did your standard 12, what? How many, are you saying 12%?
Yeah.
Okay, so what valuation are you asking for?
I'm asking for 269. I added another 12% to that.
269,000 even?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
And please, can I finish my, I let you guys go. I listen to y'all, but y'all can't listen to me. That's
Sure.
not fair.
Sure, we're listening.
Because, that's not professional. I listen. I know you probably don't want to hear me, but I'm making a point.
Okay, go ahead.
Please, as a taxpayer or representative, that's why we do these hearings, so you can hear my point of view. So I would like the respect that I render to you guys. Yes, sometimes I do make a statement, but I would like the respect that I'm rendering to you as a representative of each individual property. I'm not getting there.
So, Mr. Hayes, can I just suggest to you, the reason why I'm asking for your evaluation up front, it's easier for me to understand what all you're saying when I know what the number is going to be. It just helps me to know up front what your valuation is going to be, and then you can explain to me how you came to that valuation. That's all I'm asking for. I apologize for interrupting you, but that's the logic behind why I'm asking. I didn't mean to be rude.
Okay, so look at and I want you guys to notice something. I didn't even notice that till now. Look at the actual adjusted price of the third value, 268,973. What does that round off to? The same value I'm at. So what I'm doing is fair. I need you guys to come to, I do not come at you guys with any erroneous numbers. I do every single property the same because of my background. 268,973 is rounded off to what I had. I didn't even notice that until I looked at it. But notice that the subject property is 2358. You guys throw comps that are double in size. Less. 1637, 1780, that is the definition of reaching to raise a value.
Okay.
I don't care how you look at it, that is reaching.
Okay.
That is not professional. That is not using professional standards governed by the use.
Okay, Mr. Hayes, may I, this is Brett Town, may I ask a question? Do you put any validity into the percentages that are adjusted up and down to make comparisons?
What we do, we read up on your area. And from what I was told, generally, it's between 6 and 12% in the neighborhoods in that area that y'all value. Some more, some less. So we do an average. That's why I've been using 12. Some as much as 24. That's why I've been using 12. 6 to 12.
Right. I was just, you've made comments earlier on, your program that your company uses, the cherry You said cherry picking, wasn't it?
Cherry.
Cherry, I'm sorry,
No.
cherry.
But what,
And then the one the assessor uses is different. That's the one we're used to seeing. But both of them make adjustments. And I just need a yes or no. Do you believe that these programs make adjustments in a fair manner, or do they not make them in a fair manner to try to get properties as close to the same fair market value as you can when properties are different?
some of them, they're using the algorithms. The algorithms, that's why we have to do these. They're using the algorithm.
Right.
That's why I used my point number 3. It's 268,973. And I promise you, I did not notice that value until after I came up with my 269, with adding the 12%, then added another 12.5%
Okay.
with the concept of the remodel, because they mentioned a remodel.
But that 268,000 is before the adjustments are made.
Yeah, we don't have the price point on the actual sale in January. So to be fair to the other property owners who have a 2,300 or 21 or that, it should be around that price range. But if you look at the adjusted sale price, it adjusts to 268,972.
Okay.
And that's where I was, 269.
Okay. Assessor, any comments? You got the last word because you started this one.
All I will say is that the sale he's looking at, when we add in the adjustments, goes from the 269,000 to 301,000.
Okay.
I have 2 questions, Mr. Hayes, and I just want you to answer what I'm getting ready to ask you. How did you arrive at your beginning number of 249,189?
I don't even know where that number comes from.
Isn't that what you plus 12% to arrive at the 269?
Now, the 269, he did from the from the 2023 price, correct?
Yeah.
Of 100 and,
Of 215?
Yeah.
yeah, the 218.3, sorry, what are we on, 86, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's 215, right? So he added 12% to the 215.
And he added another 12 for the.
Well, but my question still stands. We start with paperwork that you send in, and the requested price, the original requested price was 249,189. And my question is, where'd that come from?
That just came from your sales team that worked on the comps.
I would assume it's probably the average of the comps or something, because there were, well, on this one, we didn't get any.
Mr. Hayes still there? We're losing.
Mr. Hayes? Are you on mute?
Let's try calling him back.
I didn't get any comps on this one from the taxpayer, did you?
You mean theirs?
They did send some. Apologies if I'm speaking out of order, but it was formatted differently then.
Hi, Mr. Hayes. This is Brett Town. We think we lost you in some manner. The last question that was raised by the board was, how did you arrive at your original 249,189? Was that just the average of your comps that your team used?
That's, I guess, using the cherry data, like I said
Yes.
when we first started using
Yes.
I don't use cherry data.
Okay.
I dig into it.
All right. Any other questions? Okay. If not, we're going to close item number 9, BOE 086, and move on to item number 10. I just want to make sure, because I apparently had a brain lock last night. BOE number 128, R number 120891680. Make sure I have these valuations correct. Assessor valuation is at $288,000.
Correct.
And the initial taxpayer valuation was $221,720. Mr. Hayes, do you have a new valuation?
Not at this point, no.
Okay, this is what Ms. Sellers brought up a minute ago. It helps if we know the number, so when we hear everybody's conversation that we can look for comparisons. But if we just get a number at the end, it's difficult for us to kind of judge and discern what's going on. I mean, we really would like your number before, so we can compare. I mean, we've gone through this sometimes when we were actually in agreement. We've heard the assessor, and you'd already said, I'm going to agree to that number. And that just doesn't seem like it's a good use of your time or our time. So could you give us your number?
Can you at least give us your number after the assessor makes his statements?
Yeah.
So that we hear it before we hear your argument.
Sure.
Okay. All right, assessor.
All right. The subject's address is 2705 Pinto Trail. And our major intersections are West Edmond Road and South Santa Fe Avenue. We currently have it valued at $288,000. It is a 2,034 square foot property, which gives us a price per square foot of $141.59. It had a fairly large remodel in 2016, which gives us an effective age of 24 years old. The average age of the 6 comps we used is 31.67 years old. The median of our 6 comp report is 289,312. The mean is 292,080. The minimum sale of our 6 comps was 274,320, and the maximum was 310,642. The 2024, the current valuation is $288,000. In 2023, it was valued at $270,000. And in 2022, it was $239,000. It was acquired, what is that? 16, I apologize, I didn't write this note down, I should have. It was acquired in a unqualified sale in 2022.
Okay. Board, any questions of the assessor?
Well, just tell me your 23 valuation again.
Certainly, $270,000.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Hayes, before you begin, any questions of the assessor?
Yeah, I want to know what's the actual age of the property because they changed the effective year due to the remodel of 8 years old. What's the actual year the property was built?
The unadjusted year.
Pull that up. 1 second, we have to. 1982.
So that would be
So
31,
the
32.
remodel, they changed it and give it 18 years.
Okay, 42.
If it's 42 years old, you take out 18 years for a remodel that you don't know what it looks like. You're allowed to do that. Do you have a picture?
Yes, you need to answer.
Certainly. Okay, we have it on as a 50% remodel, and can you go to the notes? I'd just like to really.
Is it a total remodel? Did something happen with the fire? Or is it just a separate?
He's looking, Mr. Hayes, just a moment, he's
Go down.
looking it up right now on the screen.
2017 reval. Down. There you go. Main is being remodeled, updating kitchen, new tile floors, new paint. The account had a 40% remodel in 2014, so this was updated to 50% in 2016.
So it was 40% in 2014 and then another 10% in 16. So what happened in 14? Is that on there?
That's when they started the remodel again.
We don't actually put any value on the remodels until they're finished, so we wouldn't put a 2014 remodel on it until that initial remodel was finished.
Okay, so a 50% remodel. Okay, Mr. Hayes, what is you're getting ready to start, what is your value?
I'm a little complex with this one. I look at these two properties. I look at the property, and I don't like the effective age for the jump. I don't think you change a property 18 years for a 10-year-old remodel. I don't think that's fair to the property. So being that the property is valued at 280, I wanted to stay in the concept of the square footage. Let's notice something. You have a 1622 and a 2063. That's a property that's 441 square foot larger, right? I wonder does number one have enough place because number two is 12 years older than both are, and it sold for 250. So I look at the 2063, sold for 250. I look at the 1882, sold for 255, a little bit smaller, and I come down to the 2196, sold for 275. We're at 288. Panel, notice that all the properties sold for less than the subject property value, market value. If you look at the adjustments during the year, they went up, but I don't think that's particularly fair on this particular comp. You did provide fixed comp, but I noticed something. Only the adjustments are raising the value higher, and it's the adjustments of the smaller property besides 2236, which is comp number 4, which effective age is closer to my client. But notice that it has a high adjustment at 310. So here's where I say the algorithm may not be as accurate, and it mainly is not accurate because of the year adjustment. So what I decided to